According to Newton's third law, when one object exerts a force on another object, the second object exerts an equal force in the opposite direction. You may have heard this stated as, for every action, there is an equal but opposite reaction. So, for example, when you stand, your body exerts the downward force of its weight on the surface of the earth. At the same time, the earth pushes against your feet with an equal but opposite upward force. If this didn't happen, you would sink into the ground. The same thing happens when you jump. Your feet push downward against the earth, and the earth pushes upward against your feet, allowing you to accelerate upwards. Newton's third law also applies to the motion of rockets. As this rocket travels through space, fuel is burned by the engine, which produces hot gases. The engine exerts a force on these gases, pushing them out the back of the rocket. The gases exert an equal but opposite force on the rocket, pushing it forward. If the gases didn't exert a force on the rocket wouldn't move forward. Notice that in all these examples, a force is paired with an equal but opposite force. You might be wondering why the equal but opposite forces don't cancel each other out. The reason is that the opposite forces are not applied to the same object. For example, notice that when you jump, your feet exert a downward force on the ground, but the ground exerts an upward force on your feet. Let's look at another example of Newton's third law. Suppose you are standing on a boat near a dock. If you jump off the boat to reach the dock, the boat moves back as you try to jump forward. Newton's third law explains why this happens. When you jump, you exert a force on the boat as you push off. The boat exerts an equal but opposite force on you. The force you exert causes the boat to move across the surface of the water in the opposite direction of your jump. If you're not careful, you'll end up in the water instead of on the dock. Click on each of Newton's three laws to see how it affects the motion of the ball.